Hey, happy Sunday, everyone. I hope all is well. I just got through grading your DBs for this week 6. It looks like we are already on to week 7, almost to the midway point. So, again, I want to remind you to look ahead because you got this major assignment coming up with your treatment plan. So, don't wait till the last minute to look at that. Please be looking at that. As I've said every week, apologize. The water all over me. I moved my sprinkler and in between these videos. So that aside, your work's getting better and better every day. Like you guys have really taken to the APA writing for the most part. There's a few hiccups here or there, but most of it's very simple. Just add another reference here or there where you need to. Otherwise, you guys are doing really well. More importantly than all that, look, let me back up because that's very important, the writing style. You don't want to look, well, first, let me back way up again. In this field of work and study, everything you do, if you stay in this helping profession, is done in APA writing. Remember that. So you need to know. So we're building a foundation for that. But 2, even as a professional, you need to look at a professional when you send emails or professional documents or documentation of any kind, right? So keep that in mind. Look, some of it's silly. Why is there a title page? I couldn't tell you. I'll never know, and I don't care to know, quite honestly. But that's the requirement. So keep that in mind when you do papers. Why there's references cited the way they are, that's people smarter than me that figured that out and said this was a good idea to do it this way. So we just follow the format, right? But that said, most of you are doing really well. You just need to add where most of the things I came across where you need 2 resources in your original post, not just the text. So most of you seem to have the text down, doing it in text, and at the end of your work. So good job. More importantly, your content is really good. So I'm really happy with everyone's content and what you wrote about. Assessment's a tricky thing. There's lots to assess. And I know if you haven't already, you will take a multicultural counseling course. I used to teach that course. I loved that course. It gives you a hands-on experience to see other cultures and experience what they're like. I know as a student, when I took one, I was like, that's just an assignment. But as a professor and really being in this industry and working with people from different cultures, so important that you remain multicultural, competent in assessment, right? And some of you touched on that there are some cultural issues. And I'll give you an example of one where a Nigerian lady came to see me. And we were talking, and in my opinion, she needed treatment. She needed a detox and then probably some residential. But she explained to me, she said, look, I have a young son. My husband travels. I can't go to treatment. So I just asked the question, is there any way family can help? Now, again, I don't have to be an expert on her culture to ask a question, right? But it's what I do with that information that matters. So she had said, no. My family will disown me. That's my culture. That's what they'll do. Great. I didn't press. I didn't say, no, okay, that's too bad. You got to do treatment. I said, fine, let's find a different solution then, right? And we explored options. She proceeded to cry, and she told me that I was the first counselor who had ever taken that into consideration, that the previous counselor kept throwing the old AA jargon and recovery jargon of secrets keep us sick. Normally, I would agree with that. And I understand the philosophy of staying open, being open with things. I buy into that. But this was a cultural issue. And you can't just say, well, that's too bad. You're going to have to figure that out. It doesn't work that way. So assessment is more than just how many drinks are you having a week? How much marijuana are you using, or pills are you taking, or whatever? It's much more than that, right? And I know we talk in my 1300 class about the biopsychosocial model, and I think this is a great example of why that's a thing. Because there are so many variables into each person's life as to why we do what we do, right? So I don't think, while yes, there's certain criterion to meet to say I have a substance use disorder, but it manifests many different ways, right? And it's very important that you look at these things. And so start thinking about your treatment plan moving forward and what's going to be good for your client. And let's see let me look this week to see what we have coming up. We are on week 7. So this week you have quiz 2 on treatment plans, treatment planning, and treatment settings. And again, I'm a proponent of treatment for most people, not in every case, but I know it works. It can work, right? It gives you the opportunity to make a change and to really be assessed. And in a treatment setting, I'm always assessing somebody, whether I'm doing a physical assessment or whether I'm talking to them in the hallway. Week 8, you have individual treatment. Week 9 is spring break, and then week 10 is your actual treatment plan, which is worth a quarter of your grade. So guys, keep up the good work. Be thinking about looking at working on your treatment plan coming up. As always, I'm happy to do a Zoom meeting with any of you anytime. Just reach out to me if there's any help or anything you just want to talk about in this industry, this field of study or work. Let me know, hit me up, and I hope you guys have a great week.